So who exactly owns Seize the Gray, the Preakness winner? Plus, what do you like to drink when it's hot outside? That's all next on Sports and Other Stuff. Here we go.
T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. Fellas, it's May, and it's fun time, fun time. Xander Schauffele wins his first major golf tournament. He's the PGA champion. We'll get into some NFL coaching ideas we have this year, the best, but not so, and maybe the worst, and some other fun stuff like libations to fit your fancy. But first, 88-year-old Dwayne Lucas, he's a friend of the show, maybe. He wins the Preakness. That's his 14th Triple Crown win with Seize the Gray. I love that name. A gray horse won. It's a horse with 2,500 owners and lugs. I think you're one of them. No? Maybe? How are you? What's going on?
It would have been nice to say yes to that, but I did watch the run in replay, and yep, it was good. Of course, Preakness, you don't have anywhere near the number of horses you've got in the Derby, and there'll probably be even less at the Belmont, but who knows? Who knows? But no Triple Crown winner this year. Still, yeah, it's fun to watch the horses on occasion.
But good to see Dwayne Lucas win at age 88.
Yeah. If I can digress here, I shot a story with Dwayne because he always moves his horses with this plane service. And I flew to Arkansas back when Little E.T. was his big horse and flew back on that plane with Little E.T. It was kind of strange to have a 707 gutted and have stables inside of it. And it was just a whole neat experience. And, you know, he had been sort of well known for not being the most forthcoming guy. He was a little cranky even then, but he was good to me. And we did the interview in the cockpit. And so, yeah, it's good. That's 20 years ago now. Think about that. It's funny how time flies. But anyway, good for Dwayne.
Little E.T. went on to win the Kentucky Derby with Pat Day aboard, did it not?
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, T-Dog, how are you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Doing good, feeling great. How are you?
Good, thanks for asking. A little under the weather. You know, got a little something in my throat, but I'm all right. Drink a little libation here. Doing okay.
Do you need a mint? You know what I'm saying.
Apparently I do. You guys say my audio is bad, so maybe I need a mint.
Now it's better.
Yeah, you must have cleared your throat.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about? A little NFL talk. It's off season, but there's some coaches on the hot seat, maybe even already. Would you say? I don't know. What do you guys think?
What do you think, dog? Who's hot?
Who's hot?
Who's not on the hot seat? I was just gonna say I had a few categories. For young head coach that is possibly the next Belichick in terms of a defensive-minded head coach. I don't know, Lugs. Do you have one?
Well, just off the top of my head, I'd say Raheem Morris maybe at Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
He's a very smart man, and they've got a pretty good defense. Obviously, the whole Kirk Cousins thing has taken most of the air in the room, but I would say, yeah, Raheem Morris to me is that kind of a smart guy, and if he can just get some breaks in their offense, you know, Bijan Robinson, and they've got like 4 top quality running backs, strangely enough.
Lugs, that's a record. We're only 5 minutes into the broadcast, and you already mentioned Kirk Cousins. So I just want to point that out.
Well, it's part of my contract, So anyway, Dog, who do you think?
Yeah.
I think I know he's only been a head coach 1 year, but I look at what D'Amico Ryans did with the Houston Texans last year, and the kind of offseason they had, and just how good C.J. Stroud is. I just think the arrow's pointing up. I think he's going to be in contention for some titles before his tenure is done in Houston. So I think he might be the guy, and just how quickly, Will Anderson, who they gave up all this draft capital to trade back up to have the second overall pick to get C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. And a lot of people are like, well, Arizona, is going to have this high pick based off of the Houston Texans. Not so. The Houston Texans way outshot anyone's predictions for them. At least I think all three of us.
By far.
Yeah. So I just think the sky's the limit with C.J. Stroud on a rookie contract, already playing last year like a top 10 quarterback, probably this year. Not that that progression is linear, but like there's a good chance he gets into the top 5. And then based around what D'Amico Ryans did with the 49ers during his tenure to get this head coaching job, and then based on his what he did with Houston Texans last year, I think he's on the trajectory to be one of the top coaches in the NFL for the foreseeable future.
Plus, D-Dog, he's only 39 years old, so you're saying before he's 50, he's going to be wearing some hardware and picking up trophies.
I feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, good. I like it.
And I will say, before J-Boys, I just want to say I like the Raheem Morris one too, even though I will say for what is his side of the ball, he's going to have to do some magic at least this year with Atlanta, because Atlanta has a lot of talent. It's just all on the offensive side of the ball for the most part. It's like 2 guys on defense. So 9 guys are either inexperienced, maybe over the hill, or just complete unknown. So like he's got a lot of work to do, but he did it 2 years ago. But besides Aaron Donald, that's why he got this head coaching job, is he's shown the ability to take a lot of duct tape and crepe paper and super glue and construct a manageable defense. So like he was probably the right I wish I would have given him another piece of the puzzle instead of taking Penix or besides Kirk Cousins. Again, like a lot of people feel, one of them is okay. Doing both of them, it makes no sense. But anyway, what about you, J-Boy?
I'm going to go with your D'Amico Ryans. I'm totally on board with that. I think this is a breakout year for the Texas teams. I think breakout year for both of them. Houston's going north direction. Cowboys going the south direction in terms of not being such good teams this year. Such a good team. But I do like D'Amico Ryans. And I was also going to mention, I think he's up for Coach of the Year coming up real soon, is Robert Saleh.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I think he's horrific. And I think that, he's buying time. He's got that Aaron Rodgers insurance. Like it's got, State Farm, Jake from State Farm, but it's Aaron from State Farm. And he's going to have that this year to save his job. But after this year, I don't think he's the guy. So go ahead and move on. The Jets, they're not going to be, no.
Actually, you transition to the next question. I'll let Lugs answer it. Swinging the other way, what's an established coach like Robert Saleh that you think has the potential to either be on the hot seat or get the guillotine this year?
Well, to me, the hottest seat of all is Nick Sirianni at the Eagles.
Ooh.
Wow. I mean, they folded it last year. They've got players. I mean, on both sides of the ball, their special teams, they've got players. That comes down to coaching or belief in a coach and his system or whatever. But Sirianni better get it straightened out, because you don't get this kind of talent for very long. 2-3 years, maybe 5 years at the outside. So I'd say for me, he's on the hottest seat this year. And there are lots of them. Always, there are lots of them.
I think yeah, I like that one a lot, and based on kind of like we said, it's very odd, and I think it was coincidental, but the you know the suspension of Big Dom, their head of security,
Remember
is when
that?
they
That was
is
so
when
crazy.
is when they went on. They were 10-1, and they went one in I believe 1-6 down the pipe. So who knew that head of security meant so much to? I mean, that thing is big. It was Big Dom drawing up plays. Is he?
Well, he's so physically big. Why isn't he on the field? I mean, he was bigger than anybody in uniform. It looked
Yeah,
like he wanted to stiff arm each one of them. I don't know what was going on. That was an eye opener for all of us, I think.
yeah. But I will stay in division, and it's not that he record wise hasn't done poorly. He hasn't, but I'm gonna have to go with Mike McCarthy.
Whoa.
And it's not completely because of him, because like I said, I believe they've won 12 plus games the last 3 years, and actually, as much crap as he got, when they let Kellen Moore go, their offensive statistically in a lot of ways was better. I mean, again, sometimes stats aren't always telling, but give him credit. He took over the offense, and they, for the most part, were able to, offset whatever loss of Kellen Moore meant. Where it becomes, I think, not so much maybe Mike McCarthy, but a big transition. And we'll talk about this probably later in the year. Just Dak Prescott. This is probably his last year playing for the Cowboys. They're not going to be able to afford him. He, in his contract, he had a no trade clause, and they can't franchise him again. So he's going to be a free agent, and they're not going to be able to pay him. They still haven't made a contract signing with CeeDee Lamb, and and also their edge rusher. So it's, I don't know. It's just they're gonna have to make it has gonna have to be a sense of transition for them. So I just think Mike McCarthy is gonna get the Evo. Just always hitting that same layer, and they're going to have to start fresh, reset on a lot of things. And I just think if you're going to reset on a lot of things, you may restart on the court, on the coach as well.
Dang, if Jerry Jones is listening, somebody's going to have to give him CPR, man, because the way you just laid that out, that's pretty rough. That's really rough.
Well, Jerry Jones, man,
Yeah, that's rough, dude.
that's your issue. If you had the guys were just allowed to play football, they've had talent. It's just Jerry Jones medals. I'm not big on Mike McCarthy, but you win 12 games consistently for 3 years with all the craziness that happens with a team. You got to give that guy credit. In the past, I've lambasted him. I said he should be a butcher, at a grocery or something. But
a baker, candlestick maker. Yeah, right.
You got to give him credit. I just think that's a tough position, and it's arguably the lead coaching position in the NFL. But it could be much simpler without Jerry Jones. But he owns the team. He makes the decisions.
For the first time in the history of this broadcast, 4 years running, Luggs did not make a comment on his weight, on what's his name's weight, the coach.
Mike
McCarthy's weight.
Yeah.
You always say one biscuit short of this or a biscuit over that. I'm proud of you, man. I'm very proud of you.
Well, I was biting. I was biting the tongue. I wanted to, but I thought, So,
Good.
But what do you think, John?
I think, dude, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus.
Whoa.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth year, right? Fourth year.
The third year.
Third year, whichever. You know what I meant. And the NFC North is up for grabs. Everybody's pretty much an equal playing field. And he's got this magical team, magical defense, but is, with the new president of the team who came in last year, the GM has crafted this thing for him. Can he deliver with the new offensive coordinator that he brought in? I don't know. I think he might be a little bit in trouble if things don't come to play. Because I think, T-Dog, you hit a big spot there where you said, like, the the Cowboys. There's like a 3 to 6 year window for teams when you think about it. It's not a whole lot. I mean, it's unusual when the Chiefs and some other teams have done this, but there's not a whole lot of time to pull this stuff off. And I don't know. I think Eberflus, I think he's a clever guy, but I'm not sure he's got the moxie to pull it off. That's my take.
Dang, all I have to say is, for a guy who, if you've seen him in this off season, the way he's dressed and the way
I know,
he's
sporting that
groomed his
beard.
hair now,
Yeah.
he's done a glow up.
Yeah,
He's
I
got,
know.
and if you listen to him talk, he seems to have like a swagger. So it would just be, I guess, like crushing for him.
He went to Marshall Fields, I think, and got some nice clothes and everything. I mean, the guy's all right. Yeah, I'm just not sure he can pull it off. Okay.
But to be fair to your point, Jay Boy, I think it had something bad really has to happen. But if you look at that division, I mean, there's a chance if they let all those games slip away. If he's, I don't know, like let's say he's 6 games under 500 at the end of the year, I can see that happening. I'm not disagreeing.
You got to beat your you're right, your divisional foes, and can he do it? I don't know. I don't know if he can.
Yeah.
Especially since he's got Caleb Williams. Everybody's
wow.
expecting so much
Yeah.
with Caleb Williams. If it looks like that they're hindering the growth of the golden child, because we keep talking about 3 to 4 years. You want that quarterback on that rookie contract to be
Right.
good and to grow. And that's coaching.
Yep, and there are a few maybe down the line. We got 3 more questions on this topic. The one that might tie it into. There's some really interesting OCs who have a few years of seasoning and look like they're primed to be a head coach. So, but before that, speaking of offense, who's a young head coach who is an offensive minded coach who has a chance to be the next Andy Reid? Hopefully they can get a Patrick Mahomes and they can win 3 Super Bowls. But who is that guy?
For me, it's Sean McVay at the Rams.
Yeah.
I think he's smart enough and he's young enough to really last a long time. And again, if he gets himself, I mean, he's got Stafford, but Stafford has been injured a bunch. But if he gets himself a good quality defense, Aaron Donald's gone. But offensively, I think Sean McVay figures out opponents very well and knows what to call in certain situations. So I'm real impressed with him.
Oh, yeah. How can you not be? You look at their 2 star receivers. Cooper Rush was drafted, I believe, like in the 4th round. Puka Nacua, who set all these rookie records, was drafted in the 5th round. Kyrie Williams, he missed a few games, but he was statistically just like running roughshod over everyone as like one of the leading rushers in the league. I think he was taken in the 6th round. To be fair to your point, like he can make guys go. Like obviously they have certain key attributes that maybe they're missing other elements that allow them to fall, but he's able to, emphasize the strengths, like just completely like cut out the weaknesses on how they are used or operated. So yeah, I agree with you, Lugs, that I think he's definitely one of the top ones. I wanted to go a different direction though. One guy I love, and I think this year he could really take off is head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen. You look at what they did last year. Anthony Richardson showed flashes early on, and unfortunately he had the shoulder injury, and then he was out for, I believe, 13 games of the rest of the season. And Gardner Minshew came in, and look, Gardner Minshew, he's played well in certain points, but like we kind of know what his ceiling is. That being said, he's still, Shane Steichen was able to, reshuffle what the offense was going to be under Richardson, because obviously the strengths and weaknesses of Richardson are drastically different than that of Minshew. And like I said, to be fair to Minshew, he has certain strengths that young Anthony Richardson doesn't have yet. So it's not like a complete falling off. But he readjusted the offense. And under Shane Steichen, he's done that because he was the OC on the Eagles when Jalen Hurts' career started to take off, but he was also the OC for Justin Herbert when he was a rookie. And, again, in terms of like strengths, weaknesses, those two are different. And that's what you always want in a head coach, is a guy who can shape the offense around what the quarterback can do. And I just think what Anthony Richardson will probably do this year with a healthy, Jonathan Taylor, with the addition of A.D. Mitchell from Texas, they got in the second round. They signed a contract for Pittman, their other wide receiver. I just feel like they are going to really take off.
Yep. You know what? I'm going to spin the wheel on this one. I really like Kevin O'Connell. I like that guy a lot. But I hate to even say this, guys. I'm going to say Matt LaFleur. Oh, I can't believe I said this. But
Wow.
O'Connell fell into it. If you think about it, he had Cousins, he had J.J. Jefferson, and so he's kind of, now this will be O'Connell's real test, is this year with kind of a new quarterback, whoever that'll be. But LaFleur, I don't want to give that guy any credit at all. But you have to look at his record and say he's done some stuff. Whether it was Rodgers or Jordan Love, or he seems to find the right pieces to make the right plays. I hate to say it, but I think he's done really well, and I don't see that going bad anytime soon. So throwing that out there, T-Dog. I hate to say it, but that's where I am.
Yeah. Just look, LaFleur's good. Again, staying in division like Kevin O'Connell, I think is a very talented young offensive-minded head coach. So yeah, it's again going back to your Eberflus thing. It's not all rainbows and puppies for Eberflus. He's gonna have to. When you get better toys, you better produce, is usually how it goes.
Yeah,
so.
Just don't show up on an episode of the Bears show and think you're going to win some games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess going off of that, if Eberflus gets fired, obviously there'll be an opening. Who's a hot young coordinator who you think will be one of the top head coaching options in 2025?
Wow. You know what? I'd say Frank Smith at Miami.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, essentially all Miami is offense. They've got some defense. Don't get me wrong; they're a professional team, but I just look at him and especially Mike McDaniel being able to handle the number of egos that they have on that team.
Yes.
Especially on the offensive side. So I would say him. That would be my pick.
Okay. Kind of like since J Boy was really talking up the NFC North on the last few, I guess I'll add into it. One of the hottest names last year who decided to go back to his team.
Yep.
Ben Johnson with the Lions.
Yep.
I don't know which job will pop up that he's willing to take. I got to give him credit to him. He saw that Commander's job and he kind of maybe sniffed it out. We don't know until years down the road. Maybe he sniffed it out. Luckily Snyder's not there anymore, but maybe it's not as great as everyone thinks. But you look at like how their offense has really gelled with all the additions they've made and, allowed, the revitalization of Jared Goff, where essentially Rams would just gave an extra first round pick to the Lions to take on him and his contract when the trade happened with Stafford. For him to get the contract that he just got in the last few weeks speaks a lot to Ben Johnson and the coaching staff with the Lions. I think he's going to be one of the top ones out there.
I completely agree with you. He's only 38 years old. He, by the way, he just signed a contract. He's making nearly $2 million as an OC. You look at the Goff situation. The monkey is off Goff's back since last year, and I think they're going to be more relaxed. Goff got paid. I think it could be a tremendous breakout year for the Lions in general. The Dan Campbell thing and all that, craziness that he brings. But Last year, I think, was just the beginning for that team, and I think Ben Johnson is a big part of that. So, completely agree with that. But I think he knows to be in the right place, and that's the place he wants to be. So, good for him. I mean, a lot of people don't do that. They don't stick. They want to climb, climb, climb. Maybe he's just happy being where he is and likes it. Good for him.
Yeah.
You know.
So the last one, and again, I don't know if there is one, and I don't know if this maybe comes off as mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but just because he was so bad 2 years ago, is there a current head coach in the NFL that's a Nathaniel Hackett? And what I mean by that is just some guy out there who's just way over their skis, and you just see this going bad from the start, and he might not even last the season, or it might not even get to like Halloween and the person's already ousted.
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving will be it for Dennis Allen of the Saints. I just don't.
Good.
I don't see him lasting much past that. I just don't believe.
Yeah, no, I mean that totally makes sense. Just because look, he's been an awesome defensive coordinator, but you look at what he did with the Raiders. You look at all the money they consistently spend on their roster year in year out with the Saints, and it's just been, being nice mediocre. And clearly David Carr, while a talented quarterback, was just not a good match for the Saints. I don't know if any of those wide receivers like him, which is not a great situation to have. One of the key relationships on an offense, and I don't know. The one I'll pick, just to try to keep it quick, is look, he did an exceptional job his first year as an offense coordinator in the NFL, but I still, and I'm probably not giving him enough credit, but I will say Dave Canellis, who's now the coach of the Panthers.
Yep.
I just look at what he did with Tampa. I think, some of us have been really harsh on Baker, but I don't think I don't know if any of us really dislike Baker. He's definitely talented, and he got to be on an offense with two, talented wide receivers, particularly Mike Evans in a contract year, who's just balling out. That's really what their offense was, and it was a bad division that they were kind of able to take advantage of. And again, I think Bryce Young can be good, but you still look at their receivers. I mean, Deontay Johnson has had moments, but obviously Pittsburgh got rid of him because he had some drop issues. And definitely, I think his confidence got shattered maybe like 2 years ago, and it hasn't felt like it's fully recovered. And, they got Jonathan Brooks, who was maybe would have been a higher drafted if he didn't have the injury coming out of Texas, but you're putting a lot on that guy's shoulders to make that offense more balanced. So they got rid of their best player on the team in particular in that trade with the Giants. So I don't know. I just worry about Dave Canellis and just him going to that, and also just Tepper. Tepper is just a lunatic. So I'll just leave it at that.
I'm going to say the same answer I said a little while ago. Robert Saleh, man. I was listening to something this week, and here's why. Here's the question. How on earth does this guy still have a job? Asked this guy on a show I was listening to, one of the national shows. The answer is Aaron Rodgers is allowing him to keep it. I mean, that's really the bottom line. So let's say they have have a tough schedule. They lose some games. I think he could be gone by the first of the year or by Thanksgiving or something like that, because if Rodgers goes flat and the Boo Birds are out in New York, number one media market, that Saleh's not going to last. What year is this for him, T-Dog? Is this 4?
Yeah, I believe this is 4.
Yeah, so it's give me a break. I don't know. The Jets are just, I don't know. So that's my guess. My hunch.
And also their GM, Joe Douglas. He was his whole mantra when he got that job is he's gonna build it through the lines. They have two 32-year-old talented, but the reason they were on the free agents Like they're 32 and they're highly injury prone.
Right.
Like their whole offensive line is for the most part a tinderbox. So it's like, yeah, like they both probably deserve a heap ho after this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good take. I like that. Good. What else do you got today? It's we got about 8 minutes left here today. Wow, we're doing all right.
Considering time restrictions, I really like Lugs's idea. Since it is hot and the summer out, like
It's too hot.
What's your all's preference for a drink of choice for a hot summer day?
Lugs.
Well, I got to tell you, I like going to Zesto
Oh,
and getting a malt, a very large malt, 2 scoops of French vanilla, and 1 scoop of mint, and just add a little malt and stir. You know, I like mine stirred, not shaken. So
Thank you, 007. Okay, are you?
I'm a du-
You know, you sound like
double-
you're there right now. I hear birds in the background, man. Can you put Jim on the horn? Is Jim there tonight? Or Trevor? Is anybody there? Can we say hello?
is that Trevor or Trey? I keep
Stop
forgetting.
it, man. Stop that. You're always throwing that curve at me like that. Man, but you're specific. French vanilla, the man says. How about you, D-Dog? What do you say?
well, I didn't even know you could do that. So
Wow.
you can order a malt with like 2 scoops of French vanilla.
Not
and
just
then
vanilla,
mint.
French vanilla. Right. Jeez.
Is-
Well,
do you-
the large they put 3 scoops in, so you know me, I got to go with a little smash up of some sort.
Hold it. Do you come up with a name for it? Because obviously that's a off the menu thing. You need to come up with a name while you're thinking about it. I'm more basic than Lugs over here. I really enjoy an ale 8.
Ooh, yeah, sure.
Cold, but I will say during the summer, I wish they did 6-packs of this. They don't. The peach, if you like peach, it's kind of underrated. They're peach flavored, but they only sell it in 4-packs. That's the only problem.
What, the peach ale 8 you're saying? Peach ale 8.
Yeah, the peach ale 8. But like, I mean, I prefer like the regular ginger, but I'm
Yep.
just saying it as a change up. I'm not gonna look. I like cherries. I like orange. I don't want to deal with those flavors. The peach one, though, it's pretty good.
Okay, so
Pretty
you've
good.
had the cherry.
I've had the cherry.
How about the blackberry? Just
Oh,
came
they-
out. Just came out.
I'm gonna try it. I've never tried the blackberry. I'm gonna have to try that one.
Ale 8.
You're looking out for me, J boy.
Yeah, always, man. You know,
Yeah.
manufactured right here in the Bluegrass State in Winchester, Kentucky, for crying out loud. We got to give a shout out to the homeboys, friends of the show, I believe, Ale 8.
Oh, yeah. If I have to go adult beverages,
Yeah,
I
please.
will go Franz and Connor Hefeweizen. That's the one I'll
I
drink.
was going to say Gesundheit there, Holmes.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to you talk into my phone to even translate what that was. I'm gonna go simple on you boys. I'm drinking one right now, a little seltzer water, pretty simple, flavored. You know, there's no calories, no sugar. I don't drink sodas anymore much. You know, like caffeinated stuff or Sprite. These are simple. Get them all over the place. Inexpensive. Kind of quenches your thirst. If I'm going to go with a little bit of the bubbly, a little libation that's got some alcohol, I like a good gin and tonic. Simple, basic, nothing fancy. Doesn't even have to be fancy gin. But just, you know, every once in a while, like, you know, once a month, once every other, whatever. Just when you're
Yeah.
out and you want to be, just when the moment's right there, little gin and tonic, good to go. Yeah, so there you go. That's what I like. Good topic. That's a good topic right there.
Yeah.
Good old
Yeah.
summertime. It's almost that time. We're getting close. Memorial Day weekend upon us, so that's all good.
I mean, we already got the heat of the summer, so.
Amen to that. Was it 90 today? I think we hit it just about.
Ooh, you felt it.
Lugs, do you want to sneak in a quick sports of yesteryear? We got about 5 minutes. Can you wiggle it in here?
Sure.
Let's go. Here comes sports of yesteryear with Lugs. After we talk about libations, now we're going to talk about, I don't know, maybe librarians or somebody special who's been
All
in
right.
the news from yesteryear. Go ahead, Lugs. Go ahead.
All right. 1922. Colonel Jacob Rupert buys out Colonel Tillinghast Lahindu, Houston's interest in the New York Yankees, for 1,500,000 to become the sole owner. 1943, fastest 9 innings ever played in a AL baseball night game. You know how they love their statistics. It was 89 minutes. The White Sox beat the Senators. 1977, 102nd Preakness. Jean Crougier aboard Seattle Slew wins in 154.4. 1996, Ken Griffey Jr., 26, is the 8th youngest to hit 200 home runs. 1997, Blue Jays pitcher Roger Clemens beats his former team, the New York Yankees, for his 200th win. That's it for this edition of Sports of Yesteryear.
Thank you so much, Lugs. It's Memorial Day, fellas. What you going to do? Got any big plans?
Drop my pants and fire a rocket.
Well, you could do that. How about you, T-Dog? That's wonderful.
Well, mine's a little more civil. It's my mom's birthday is Sunday, so I'll be attending my mom's birthday party.
Well, see, and that's a good note to end this edition of Sports and Other Stuff. Love for Mom. Yes. Sports and Other Stuff brought to you in part by Farrell Mobile Homes. Cross that money-saving bridge for big savings. We have a favorite salesman there. He's there tonight. What's that guy's name? I forget. His name is
Fish. And this week, our man in the know is making milestones in aviating history with a look back at 2 pioneers in the cockpit. In 27, Charles Lindbergh made the first solo flight across the Atlantic. In 32, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to accomplish that feat. Come on down this Saturday at 1 p.m. for what Fish is calling a high-flying extravaganza designed to get everyone high on flight, that is. Come dressed in jodhpurs and a leather jacket, and your name will be entered in a raffle for a memorial flight tracking the route Lindbergh took on his record-setting outing to Europe. Mission $20 and culminates with the showing of the movie The Spirit of St. Louis with actor Jimmy Stewart playing Lindbergh. Come on down.
Zuzu's Pedals. That's Sports and Other Stuff. We are the Sport Weasels. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye for now.